Good morning to everybody. So today the course is MMPH 004, the third semester paper or specialization of HRM. Title of the project core titles is your industrial and employment relations. Today we have to discuss about unit number 4 and 5 of block 1. So straight I am going to unit number 4. Yeah. So labor administration in India. In this unit, you have to see what are the contents of these particular units. That is your constitutional provisions, labor administration machineries, attached offices of the Ministry of Labor and Employment, autonomous organizations, labor administration in states, unorganized sector workers. So, in unit number 4, the contains basically the constitutional and what are the departments are there, and the particular department, what are the role and the responsibility in terms of your industrial relations. That is already saturated. I mean, the statutory rules and regulations, and the uh, what are the responsibilities, role, everything are defined. So first things here, the constitutional provisions as per the Indian laws, that the labor administration is defined by the ILO Convention number 150. That the public administration activities in the field of national labor policy. The governments create the labor administration machinery to make the organized efforts to fulfill their responsibilities towards labor and the workers. It is therefore important that each country should maintain a robust and dynamic labor administration system responsible for all aspects of the national labor policy formulation and the implementation. That is actually this defined by the ILO, International Labor Organizations. So all the countries should maintain some sort of laws where the welfare for the laborers and workers, they can move from one country to other country. There should be should not be any problems, and plus of the basic needs that also to be, and what type of administration is required. That is that part is there defined, and that is in the convention number 150 as per the organization it has formulated. Now, labor again the meeting of experts of the labor administrations held in Geneva in October 1973. The Geneva meeting, that time it was felt that it was felt that labor administration should include various functions that include in the following. So during the convention, during the meeting, it has been decided the following should be there. The labor protections, that they are developing the standards of the working conditions, health and security, safety, and terms of the employment, including wages and social security. That part should be there. It is based on the protection purposes for the labor and workers should be well protected. That is one of the rather I can say it is all of the objectives inclusion means that is basically the objectives. Second is the labor inspections, because inspection is also required if things are moving in right direction or not, and if any implementation or maybe modification required, the inspection basically is required for the control the things, and at the same time you can take a feedback also. Labor relations, that also to see is at par the standard or not, that labor relations are in in the developed conditions or not. So then D is the employment objectives. That should be clear. What are the objectives of the employment? That objective has to be clear. It is that is there. It should be legal assistance, the part of training, that should be clear. Then legal assistance Suppose if something is problems with arbitration or any case, or where the petitions to be submitted, or if required some of the lawyer or something, vice versa, employment side or employee side. So everything has to be, the legal assistance has also to be here. Then educational functions, also another objectives are to be provided in this, in the that has been decided in the Geneva program meeting. Then according to the Constitution of India, the enactment and the administration of labor laws in the responsibility to both union and the state governments. So responsibility should be in the both central government, I mean union governments and the state governments. So everybody has to follow these constitutions. So there are three lists: one the union list, concurrent list, and the shared list. The constitution in which these various subjects have been divided. The following some of the following are the principal matters of the related to labor enumerated in each of these list. So what are the enumerations are there that have been listed? As per the union list, there should be participation in international conferences, association and other bodies, and implementing decisions made there. Number two is your port contracts, including the hospitals connected therewith, the instruments and marine hospitals. So, and all have to be union list. So from the government has to be provided. Regulation of the labor and safety in mines and outfields and oil fields. There should be a separate safety rules are there, because the mines there are more safety is required, more rural regulations and the protections for the laborers, because they have to go in the underground and there are so many provisions of this. Then any industrial disputes connecting with the union relations, employees. So that is another point that is within the list. Then union agencies and the institutions for the professional, vocational, for the technical training, the promotion for the social studies, research, that part is the part of the union agencies. Professional and vocational technical studies for the ITI, there are a lot of courses are there, trade course, then some electricians, turner, fitters, different skill development programs for the short terms. All are these basically the part of the agencies or the technical institutions. This is part of the union agencies are there has to be permanent. Then inquiries, surveys, and the statistics for the purpose of any of the matters in the list. So, if any inquiries are required or survey is required, any data, basically the data is required, that part also purpose of the list. Now, concurrence list. Here, actually, the economic and the social planning, number one, trade unions, industrial and the labor disputes, then society, social security and social insurance, employment and unemployment. Fourth is your labor welfare, including the condition of work, provident fund, employees' liability, workman's compensation, even in the gratuity also, invalidity and old age pensions, pension scheme if any, and the maternity benefits. It should be 6 months or 1 hour extended leave period, without pay, with pay. All these things are the packages. What are the compensation package? That is I think number 4 in the list. Then 5 is vocational and technical training of the labor. That is your in the like that, as I they will do something, is also in the concurrent list also will be there. Then your factories and the inquiries and the statistics for the purposes of any of the matters specified in the concurrence list and the state list. Now, your state list, where should be a public order, number one. Number two, public health and sanitations, hospitals and dispensaries, etc. should be there. So all these, everything are basically the administrations where the labor are working. They are for the benefit of the workers and the laborers. They should smoothly work. For that, all these things list has been prepared. Relief of the disabled and unemployables. What type of relief should be given, if any, rehabilitation that time, maybe some 10 days salary or 20 days salary or some of the in terms of some food or benefit. So that has to be unemployable. Suppose there no employment is there, so there is some stipend or something unemployment um, amount should be there so that they can survive or they can go to, for the young generation, those who are in the educated or the trained skilled laborers, that has to be. So that type of things are given. Either all are a state list. State has to see the particular their employment. Now, the Ministry of Labor of Employment is at the top of the labor administration machinery. Now we are talking about what are the machineries are there, what should be the structure of these administration, labor administrations. In this machinery, this is headed by the government, that is the Ministry of Labor and Employment. They are at the top of the administrations. It aims at protecting and safeguarding the interests of the workers and deprive the disadvantaged sections of the society. So, basic idea is this, to safeguard the and protection and safeguard the workers. Since cordial industrial relations are important for the economy of the country, its purpose is to create a healthy work environment. So, healthy work environment is primary, it is a prime duty for achieving the higher production and productivity. Since liberalizations of the economy has accentuated the need of the develop the new skills. Now, why we were has to earn the knowledge and to skill development by the ministries also, with lot of schemes, lot of plans has been sanctioned and it is undergoing also, and it is already implemented and something are being to be implemented. Lot of development schemes because competitions. Since the liberalizations, lot of international companies come, workforce are going to the abroad also. That should be at par the world class levels. So that's why this ministry has also taken a lot of steps to develop the desired skills and get jobs. The ministry focuses on the vocational skill training and unemployment services. Another important objectives of the government is the provision of social security and the promotion of welfare to the labor force, both the organizations, both the organized and unorganized sectors. We know other organized sector, there are some people up there, there are some hierarchies there, there are some policies are there, everything are structured. So that is, we can say these are organized sectors. Those some of the things are not organized. People are coming and joining their contract basis worker. They don't have any, maybe they don't have any provident fund, they don't have any benefits, that type of things. So seasonal basis they are working and going back. So some of the lot of unorganized sectors are also there. But everything are covered by the labor administration purposes. When you are talking about the benefits in the national levels, all levels, they are also part of beneficial that categories. even though the particular they are not in organized sectors, still uh, they are getting some sort of protection, some sort of things. The government has given it that type of opportunity and objectives also. These objectives are sought to be achieved through the enactment and the implementation of the various labor laws which regulate the terms and conditions of the service and the employment of the workers. The state governments are also competent to enact the legislations as labor is a subject to in the concurrent list under the Constitution of India. The ministry functions with the help of its various offices are there. Now, we are talking about the attachment of offices in the Ministry of Labor and the Employment Offices. What are the Ministry of Labor and some sort of auxiliaries? Some of the offices and another support systems are attached. Some of the offices are there. We are talking about the things. Headed by the Ministry of Labor, that is the prime control, the Ministry of Labor and Employment. Under the Ministry of Labor and Employment, some of the other institutions or offices are attached. I mean, they are the responsibility are distributed. So number one, the Chief Labor Commissioners. It's the central Chief Labor Commissioners. He has some responsibility. He has to dispose some of the words. Then organizations of the Chief Labor Commissioners, also known as the Central Industrial Relations Machinery, is an apex organizations in the country that is responsible for maintaining the harmonious industrial relations, mainly in the sphere of central government. In pursuance of the recommendations of the Royal Commissioners in the Labour of India, the organizations was set up in the 1945 before independence. The organizations gradually expanded with increase in the number of labor legislations and increased industrial activity in the post uh, independence period in the country. Means after 1947, there's a lot of activities it has been increased. Initially, they have started some of the things so that harmony can be maintained, industrial relations, people can work together, some sort of things has been there, and that is by the Central Industrial Relations Machinery, that is chief labor commissioners and that time. Now, in order to secure better consolidations, because we have to see overall. So, particular one such area of the head, they cannot control of everything. So, for consolidation purposes and for the preventions, the mediations, and the more effective enforcement of the labor laws, the scheme of to further strengthening of the central industrial relations machinery was approved under the sixth 5-year plan. So gradually it has now increased and gradually the lot of the things are covered up. And as per the result, what happened? The three more regions with headquarters, one is Guwahati, Chandigarh, and Bangalore, were created during 1981-82. It has been created. The office and the headquarters are region-wise headquarters have been created. Why it is created? Because further strengthening the relationships of the workers all over the regions. The three more new regions, the headquarters at the Ahmedabad, New Delhi, and Cochin were created under the seventh. Actually, what happened? Every the planning, I mean the 5-year planning, as you know, the sixth planning, something has been added, and the seventh planning again during the 5 years, some another additional um, locations, substation headquarters are created. So gradually it is now increased. So first one, the Guwahati, Chandigarh and Bangalore created during the 1981 to 82. Then subsequently, in the seventh plan, that is the 1987 to 88, another three headquarters has been formed. That is one headquarters, that is Ahmedabad, New Delhi, and Kochi were created under the seventh plans. Two new regions also created, that is the Dehradun and the Raipur, with the headquarters at Uttaranchal and Chhattisgarh respectively were created in the year of 2005. So what we are getting from here? Main thing first is your 81 to 82, that time it was created in the six plans. And then after that, in the 1987 to 88, that planning time, another three has been included. And 2005, your Uttaranchal and Chhattisgarh, there are two. One is your Dehradun and there are also created. So all these things are created. Again, I am just repeating for the purpose of the strengthening of the relationships, strengthening of the industrial relations. This is basically all of the basic history of these things, how it has happened, and who are the responsible. That's what we are discussing in unit number 4. So functions, important functions are for this central level. The CLC includes, that is a basically central labor commissions, prevention and the settlement of the industrial disputes. The CRIM ensures that harmonious industrial relations in the central sphere service through interventions, mediations, and the coalitions in industrial disputes with a view to bring about settlements of the disputes. Then implementation of the settlement and awards, if any award is required, also to be given. That provision is also there. Interventions in situations of threatened strikes and lockouts with a view to avert them. It is very important because if the situation is adverse, it is not in the for the benefit for the industries and not for the workers, the labor as such. So that time, that administration, that machineries, the government machineries, in terms of your where the locations as the headquarters officers, they are interviewing the things, and they can the situation they can try to handle it. If some type threats are coming there for the strike and other things, the lockout situation is there. It may be possible. Maybe lockout now will from the company owners are declared is now lockout. If it is possible without the lockout, can company run or not? Even though the profit are not marginal. So anyway, lot of factors are there. So that labor administrations can intervene the things and sort out the things. So that provision is also there. They can also intervene and strike may be postponed or strike may be diluted or any strikes can be across the table, they can negotiate. So they are also there as a working as a subsystem. Enforcement of labor laws and the rules made thereunder. Because another wing, another objectives or the rules are there. Whatever the rule are there, that has to be implemented. So that's why the enforcement department is there in the labor laws. They have to time to time, they have to see, they have to visit their industries, different laws. The laws are followed by or not, or if any lackluster or any bikuma or something problems are there, why it has happened, they can also solve it or take a feedback. Then quasi-judicial functions. The officers of the CIRM perform quasi-judicial functions under the various labor enactment. If required, they can also give you some of the orders you can do if any, before going to any labor code or something. So they are the they can see the situations. They can again give a notice or something. They can have a give some order also in a very any critical situations. Verification of trade union memberships. That is also another job is there that machinery, labor employment machineries can observe because there's some certain rules are there for making the trade union, any union, some verification there should have a employee of this particular. This should not be the outsider. Proper identity card, Aadhaar card, whatever the rules are there, documentation has to be fulfilled. Certain period of working is required, then only you can take a memberships. So and this much strength should be there, then only the trade union memberships can be achieved. So the officers of the CIRM are required to conduct verifications of the trade union memberships. Verification, what the things are they have to verify? Verification of trade union memberships for the recognitions under the Code of Discipline as directed by the Ministry of Labour and the Employment, or by order of High Court, Supreme Court, time to time when the order they have given, there has to be followed. Statutory verifications for the appointment of workmen directed in the nationalized and the state banks, there some of the verifications is there. General verification of the central trade unions organizations by the checking order records and the sampling. They time to then go there and see the based on the records. They have to take some sampling and they can check it is already verified or not. Means they are followed the rules and regulations, the particular this company and the organizations, they have followed these things. Director General of Mines Safety Director, General of Mines Safety, um, in the Indian Regulatory Agency for the Safety in the Mines and the oil field. These different laws are there, different aspects, basically the mines safety. The mission of the DGMS is to improve safety and the healthy standards, practices, and the performance in the mining industry and upstream petroleum industry by implementing what are the things? So proactive safety and safety strategies. Continuous improvement of process, effective use of resources, commitment, and the professional behavior in his personal. So this is all we are talking about the mindset. Autonomous organizations. What are the autonomous organizations? The autonomous organizations are in the ministry. They are also a part of ministry, but some responsibility are distributed. There is the employees, state insurance corporations, where the if any employee medicines or some treatment or some compensation is required, that insurance corporations are providing. They have some ESI also. They have tie up with some ESI hospitals where the employee can go and take their treatment properly. So that some sort of arrangements are there. The employees, state insurance corporations. These are another autonomous organizations. Employees power union organizations. These all are the by the Industrial and Employment Ministry and under the Ministry of Labor Ministry under. But they are individually, independently they are working and they are in turn helping to the main ministry. Provident fund organizations, there are some EPS, EPSO, lot of pension schemes are there, and the provident fund scheme is also there. So that probably in the future, in the superannuations, in the retirement time, employee can be benefited. That part is there. Central Board of for Workers Education, that is also there, but because um, the workers' children's childs are they have to properly take care. Their education should be at par the our Indian rules. They should provide a minimum knowledge. They should give the school level knowledge. This is as per constitutional right. They all everybody should be getting education. So that part of this scheme, the central so then employees provisions are there. Employees provident fund scheme. Tender central board of workers education. Central board of workers education appears. Then your Giri National Labour Institute, where the labor can be skilled, they can go there and study. Employees sitting student scheme of Hindi. So many programs are there and scheme is also there. These all are autonomous organizations, ESI, EPFO, CBOW education, then your national level institutions. So all are autonomous organizations. They are in turn helping to uh, employees, industrial employees. Employees state insurance scheme of Indian employees, that state insurance India is a multidimensional social security system created to provide social economic protections to worker populations and their dependents covered under the scheme. That's why some of the called scheme is there that will be covered. So labor administrations in the states and to see the unorganized sectors also, they have to see it. Now, employees state insurance scheme. The state insurance scheme of the India is a multidimensional scheme and provide employees provident fund organizations. The Constitution of India under the directive principles of state policy provides that the state shall, within the limits of the economic capacity, make effective provisions for securing the right to work, to education, and to public assistance in the cases of the unemployment, old age, and sickness, and disabled and undeserved one. So, this is the your provision in the public. Basically, the term unorganized workers has been defined. Now, it has been defined in our in the Social Security Act has been prepared in 2008, where it is defined who are the unorganized. So, as a home-based worker, self-employed worker, or a wage worker in the unorganized sectors, uh, includes a worker in the organized sector who is not covered by any of the acts mentioned in the Schedule 2 of the Act, the Employees Compensation Act 1923, then the Industrial Disputes Act, the Industrial State Insurance Act, the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act, the Maternity Benefit Act, and the Payment of Gratuity Act, welfare. All these things are already different acts are there, so that it will cover up. And other measures for the managing the organization's workers are as follows. Some of the there is one of the shop that the portal is there, some portal, some portal is there, and registration of the unorganized workers across the country. for their launch in 26 August 2021. And I think, in fact, it is coming in view of these things, so that should get some benefits. So this portal will help build a comprehensive national database of the unorganized workers in the country. What are the provident fund? Now the unique feature is there if their provident fund is really deducted or not, it is really deposited or not in their even even account the unit unique numbers. So they can simply give a message or through this portal you can go there and there if they put their numbers, employee number or some sort of code numbers, then you can get the uh, view what is the going on. That really it is updated. So updated figures we can also get. So this portal will help to build a comprehensive national database of unorganized workers in the country. The portal will prove to be a huge boost towards the last mile delivery of the welfare schemes for crores of the unorganized workers, for more than 38 crore workers. 38 crore workers are benefited. They are getting these facilities and they can know where they are. The registration is totally free for the workers. They can register, there is no money is required. They can enroll these things. And so this portal is one of the uh, meaningful portals. Pradhan Mantri Shyam Yogi Man Dhan, this is PM SYM, this is also Kiran Yogi Mandan Yojana is a government scheme meant for old age protections and social security of unorganized workers. There are lots of measures given, etc. These all are talking about the unorganized sectors. What are the schemes? What are the things are already launched and it is going on. Aam Aadmi Bina Yojana, the workers in the unorganized workers will constitute uh, about 93% of the total workforce in the country. The government has been implementing some social security measures for certain occupational groups, but the coverage is minimal. The majority of the workers are still without any social security coverage, recognizing the need for providing the social security to these workers. The central government has introduced a bill in the parliament. Then these things. Now, some of the global trends we have to see. Industrial relations are affected by the social, we know the social, then the political, economic, and cultural factors of the nations. So, due to differences in belief, different belief is there, norms, assumptions, then corporate cultures and national cultures of the different countries. The nature and the relationships between the employer and the workers varies from one country to another country and from one region to another. It is true because somebody is going to Dubai or the Middle East or in the African countries for work there. Definitely it will be a problem because the language barrier is one of the problems. Cultural problems also there. Food habit is different. So their norms and regulations also there. Some belief systems are also there. Christianity, then your Muslims, Hindus, so Hinduism, so Buddhisms. There is lot of cultural diversities also there. Workforce. So somehow it is a challenge. Somehow it should be a challenge. So between the employer and the workers, that's why sometimes the relations are not up to the mark, or maybe some of the resistance are coming between because of this. So globalizations and the technological advancements have been instrumental in changing the nature of the industrial relations all over the world. So now the things is this, because of the globalizations, because somehow people has to manpower to go there in the other country to earn something, or promoting. It is also promoting. That's why they're developing the skills of the workers so that they can go there in other country, they can earn the money and they can save the incomes, the dollar in the country, and so that the Indian economy can be developed. So it is vice versa. Individual improvements, government improvements. So, so that's why it is very much required to develop the relationships in a very in a high level where the productivity can be moved. So country cultural programs, country to country activities are so that development is very much needed so that the workers can be habituated or accustomed. They can also follow. They can easily acceptable. They can easily accept their cultures also, and they can survive. And happily they can do their job. The role and the importance of the trade unions has declined in many countries over the time because nowadays the trade union they are not playing that particular that role. So with certain acceptance in the African and the Latin America countries where the membership increased, but the factory is responsible for this, including the structural changes in the economy, increasing competitiveness in business and the more accompanying management endeavors to, to reduce labor cost, to emergence of the non-union enterprises in formulation of the economy and the falling employment in the organization sector, particularly in the public sector, outsourcing of the jobs and increase in part-time and the casual workers, and changing the workforce compositions, including gender diversity. So all these things are the slow responses of the unions in the fast changing environment has also been a factor in their decline because England has to take a lead part in this changing process. So in the country like Denmark, and Sweden, and the Belgium, unions play the important role in the labor-related issues, and therefore they have suffered less in a membership loss than in the other countries. So they are all developed. They are fastly. They're very much involved with these things. The International Trade Union Organizations are there. Again, is in a global conditions. You have to monitor these things. The International uh, Confederation of the Free Trade Unions. So they are in a common body so that during the trade business, there should be a free, there shouldn't be any ambiguities, there shouldn't be any complex, it should not be any complex and very simple procedures that we do. So ICTFU is some of the unions body, they are look after the international level. International Trade Union Confederations. So ITUC is also again they have to see the uh, welfare of the laborers, not only in the particular their countries, other countries also. They are see the global transitions period when the workforce are going from one country to other country for the job searching or doing a job. They can see some of the norms are fixed and norms are can be followed. Then trade union uh, confederations. Another is a South Asian Regional Trade Union Council. Different confederations, unions, councils are formed because of their welfare and for adjustment. UNI, the global union, it is formally the Union Network International, UNI. Uh, they are the global unions. They are also seeing in the globally everything are at par with the standards are not. The collective bargaining, another part is there for the collective bargaining because for the better relationships. So one of the major areas is the collective bargaining. It is a process for the negotiations between the independent unions and the workers and the employees um, to determine the terms and the conditions of the employment, typically wages and the working condition time, because salary is okay or not, working times are really at par the standards or not, 8 hours, whatever it is, and break time, lunch time, the relations between the parties. So these are the process. The collective bargaining is through this way. If it is not there, some loopholes are there. They can sit there, trade unions representative, your employees representative. So all together they have to discuss it and they have to formulate. Participation, worker participation is very important for the formulation of this thing. So the negotiation result in labor protections to workers and the legitimacy of the trade unions. It provides the government authorities with a tool of the regulation of the labor related issues, which is determined by the direct stockholders and can be tailored to their circumstances, among which the enforcement of the compliances with the minimum standards. So collective bargaining is viewed as a fundamental principle at work as recognized by the international community. So in the last line is very important. Collective bargaining is viewed as a fundamental principles at the work as recognized by the international. So workers' participation is another aspect. Workers' participation in management is an essential ingredients of the industrial democracy. Workers' participation is also known as the your labor participation. You can say the labor participation, or we can say the employee participation. There you see, everything are different uh, name, but purpose is same. Or rather, I can say employee and employer. There are two terms. Employee, we can say owner of this company, we can say board member of the company, because the based on the share proportions, their ownerships are coming. It may be a partnership business, it may be a single owners, it may be a government, or it may be public. So whatever the things, employers. So it can be a government, it can be a state government, it can be private, it can be individual, whatever it is. Similarly, other way, the laborers, workers. So basically they all are in the employee. So you can direct categories, one of the employer, one of the employee. So their human relations approach, that management part is very important. So some set of rules or regulations should there, the labor management. That's why that ministry has developed and they are declaring every time the different objectives, different norms. And all these things are to be maintained by the other companies also. So traditionally, the concept of workers' participation in management, that is WPM, refers to participation with non-managerial employees in the decision-making process of the organization. So actually, earlier what happened? Just maybe he was not involved in the that part from the union side, from the worker side. Somebody has come as a representative, and they are simply sitting in the meeting. What are the management has decided? That is, there is no counter, there is no argument, there is no cross, nothing is this. But now that slowly the concept has changed. Now the participation from the concerned uh, department officer level, who is the particular the head of this particular section, he should come in the meeting during the management decision process, because they can give it correct feedback. What is the what is the going on, what are the benefits are required really. So on behalf of union side, the representatives also should be aware, should be knowledgeable of particular that cases. Not just for go to sitting and nothing to say is not a purposeful meeting. So in the decision making process, the active participation is required. Or rather we can say the labor participation. So worker participation in the management implies the involvement of the workers in the decision making process in enterprises. It is considered as a mechanism where the workers have an active involvement in the policy decisions, especially in the policy decision purposes. So active involvement is very much required. Now workers' participations in the decision making that the maximum the democratic participation in the decision, maximum employer-employee collaborations. So when we are taking any decision process, so there some ratio should be there. This percentage of the proposals or ideas has to be approved or has to be uh, vetted by the some of the where means to say it means when the decisions are making should be win-win situations. Laborers and the decisions they are also yes this scheme is this decision is benefited for us for the employee also. Employer sometimes employer is biased, they are on focus on the profit only, but revenue earning, they have to focus on it. That should not be. So that's why the maximum employer-employee collaborations. Minimum state interventions. So state intervention should be less. And number four is the realization of the greater measure of the social justice. So what are the justice and the already measures already given? Everybody has to realize it and appreciate the things and follow the things disciplinary, and it should be a disciplined way all the law. So realization is more required for the greater measures. Greater industrial efficiency also is required because if industry is not efficient, then it will be affecting the production also. So greater industrial efficiency are much needed. High level of organizational health and effectiveness. Now it is a very prior decision, prior important. After the post-COVID, now we have observed the health of the people are hazards due to health hazards, performance are reduced, lot of diseases are coming, or they are fatigue, their level of production effectiveness of activities are less. So in high level of uh, health awareness and to implement the things and effectively have to utilize, implemented the what are this health scheme basically. So that is a prime requirement now. So that effectively it should be effectively utilized. So social security is a human right which responds to the universal need for the protection against the certain life risks and the social needs. Social security is the security provided by the worker by the society in situation when earning power is reduced or the workers is no longer able to earn, because that time the crime will be increased because when the work is not there, um, earning is not there. So for the survival of the life, they have to uh, some criminality activities will be, chances are will be increased. So, that time social security are very much needed. So then otherwise will be some imbalance conditions. So such situations include in incapacitations due to accident, old age. It can be the situation anything because of the old age. There's a no professional there, so definitely they have to do some wrong thing. And even during the accident, they don't have any capacity to handle these things. So there is a chances of uh, there is some of the not security, but security is actually provided. Means they can survive the situations, maybe in the monetary wise, or maybe in the health wise, or arrangement should be there so that they do not be worry about it. For example, when the old age, if the patient scheme is there, then no problem. They can at least they can survive their lives. If any accidents has occurred, if the ESI hospitals or something, some insurance, medical insurance are already there, then they can also provide these things. So this is the way. uh, So ILO passed a convention, some convention they have passed. There is social security minimum standards they have given some of the convention. The 1952, there is a 102 convention number. During the convention, there are a lot of rules are standards are approved, or you can say the passed by this thing, passed by the committee. So in the 1952, in the conventions, that some I has passed some of the social security norms. Some minimum standards they have maintained, mentions. These benefits and the conditions under which they are granted. It covers the, which are the things are, it covers the 9 principles branches of the social security. They have passed. Now one name is your medical care, then your sickness. It means if medical care is required, some resolutions has given. Company employer has to provide some of the things basically. Then your sickness, if any sickness, leave has to be provided, between casual leave, between earned leave, or medical leave, in terms of leave that should be covered. Then unemployment, if any unemployment is there, there is no job, some sort of stipend or some sort of your amount has to be given so that they can survive more. The old age, maybe some of the pension schemes or some fund has to be generated for them. Employment injury, suppose some accident has due to accident, some leg or hand, any injuries, again this is the minor type or major type, depending on the some compensation packages has to be provided. And family protections, family security also. Then in the women's workers, for the maternity leave are to be granted. Invalidity, suppose the job has, during the job, now something has happened, he cannot continue his service, cannot continue. So that invalidity conditions, what to be given, what much money, how much money is to be provided, considering his length of services, how much, or his family calculation, the ground. So all these things are seen, so that he can survive. So all are survival, then survival benefits. All these things are as per the ILO has passed in the convention 1952. Time to time it is modifying the things, but initially it has passed the minimum standards. Still it is maintaining like this. So okay, thank you very much. And today's session is now is over. So we can continue in the next sessions with the other Okay, thank you.